Hello, my gorgeous people. Grace here, Bikeadonia. It is an exciting day. We have invested in several of the brand new CRF300Ls for our high volt tour business. They are 2022 models, and we finally have them in our hot little hands. Now, we run enduro tours, so we want these bikes to be as light and as unbreakable as possible. This means removing, adding, and swapping out a whole bunch of accessories. That means going down to our local dirt bike shop and putting in a lot of orders. Happily, Thailand has a lot to choose from when it comes to aftermarket accessories for the CRF300L. Okay, here we have one of our specimens back from the shop, and let me walk you through what we've done. First of all, we have a full system aftermarket exhaust. It's in the style of the T6 from Pro Circuit. Now this is a lot lighter than stock, which is what we want, and it also sounds a lot better too. Moving towards the front of the bike, you're going to see that we've put proper handguards because we don't want to be replacing our levers every weekend. You'll also see that we've replaced the bars with Renthal fat bars. These stock bars are not very strong. They do bend when you stack the bike, and as this is a rental bike, it's a dirt bike, we know that it is going to hit the ground a few times. What we don't want is damage to the bike so it's not rideable, and what we also don't want is having to give our customers a hard time about paying for repairs. So we're going to avoid those problems by using strong bars, by putting handguards on the bike, by putting in place these preventative measures so that these bikes are nice and tough and everybody's happy. In the same vein, we've removed the mirrors because those are only going to get broken off as well. I've not changed anything about the headlight because the stock headlight on this bike is not super bulky, it's not super heavy, it will do just fine. If you've got sharp eyes, you will have noticed that we've also put risers on the bike. This is because otherwise the fat bars won't fit into the standard clamps. Moving towards the back of the bike, you'll see that we've added a light luggage rack because a lot of our tours are multiple days. We'll head into the mountain on the single track and we won't come back sometimes for a week. We offer the option of a four-wheel drive support vehicle, but if the customer wants to keep things simple or they want to go some really far-flung places, then they're going to need to carry a little bit of their own gear. The brand of this luggage rack is Motoskill, but there are lots and lots of local options to choose from. Now the CRF300L comes from the factory with a really large plastic rear fender which holds the number plate and is basically just waiting to be smashed. Whether that's when you crash the bike or it's when rocks get flipped up off the rear wheel. We've avoided that problem by using an ultra compact tail tidy. As you can see, you just have the tail light and then a really small bracket where you can attach the number plate. From this angle, you can also see that now we have knobbies for days. The CRFs will come from the factory with IRC Trails GP tyres, which are kind of a 50-50. And they are really not great for anything in particular, in my humble opinion. You could try to ride dirt with them, but you wouldn't have a particularly good time. By contrast, we want our customers to feel confident, we want them to have traction, we want them to have grip, we want them to have a good time. The new tyre is an IRC as well, it's an M5B Evo. It's not an expensive tyre, but it hooks up in the mud pretty well. Now moving forward, you can see that we've got plastic frame protection on there, which is super important given the usage these bikes are going to get. And further down again, we have the bash plate or the skid guard, depending on your preferred terminology. This one is by Tep, which is a local Thai brand. It's actually made out of plastic. It's quite light and it's very sturdy. We don't have specific aftermarket protection for the brake lever here, but we will be carrying spares. Last but not least, we have a nice sturdy aftermarket radiator guard here. This one is from Yamamoto. We ride through a lot of bamboo, and so it's highly likely and highly undesirable to have a bit of that sticking through your radiator. So that's pretty much it. Those are the standard modifications we're going to make to all of our CRF300Ls as we prepare them for our tours. We've taken some weight off and we've added some protection on. Now the aftermarket exhaust has a power bomb and it's quite possible that it's producing slightly more horsepower. However, I haven't dynoed the bike, so I can't give you specific details about that. We've kept the ECU and the mapping all stock at this stage. Anyway, that's it from me for the moment. All that's left now is to take these bikes out and ride them. Here in Northern Thailand, we get absolutely gorgeous riding weather from about November through to February, so we're just gearing up for the riding season now. If you are interested in any of the aftermarket parts that we have used here, feel free to send me an email. I will leave the details in the description of this video. Take care and enjoy the ride.